Animal Man number 14, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Steve Pugh and Timothy Green II. This is the next part of RotWorld, the Red Kingdom side of things. And last issue we had Animal Man getting to the Red, Constantine berating him, and back before RotWorld, we see that both her brother and her mother, Maxine's that is, have been infected by the rot. So this issue picks up with the grandmother telling her, like, oh, get back, stay away. And the mother launches after her grandmother and basically turns them all into agents of the rot. And Maxine is, of course, distraught as she looks on. She's like, no, please stop. And we find out that these are the hunters, basically given new form, and they're coming back after them. And Socks is like, all right, Maxine, we got to go. We got to run. Let's get out of here. So they start running. Cut to Rot World, and Buddy's basically explaining, like, yeah, no, we were trapped in the rot for some amount of time. I don't know how long, but when we came back, this is, by the way, where is Swamp Thing? What happened to him? And they were like, oh, I guess you guys must have split up. Like, you were drawn slightly closer to the red. Maybe he was drawn slightly closer to the green. In which case, we know kind of where he is. And Constantine points out that if both of you are here, then maybe we have a chance to finally beat the rot. And immediately Buddy's like, fight for what? My whole family is gone. What's worth fighting for? And Black Orchid starts to say something, but then boom, giant explosion. They're being attacked by the agents of the rot. And more specifically, it's Felix Faust, who is a magician sorcerer guy who made a deal with the rot to basically not be turned, but to be a force for them with his magic powers. And inside the group, we see a rot turned grifter, Hawk and Dove, and Deathstroke are there as well. So at this point, giant fight breaks out, and Buddy is just basically trying to fight through. And Felix is like, Animal Man, we found you at last. How fantastic, or whatever. And Animal Man's asking questions like, oh, he's not an agent of the rot. What's going on? Why doesn't he look all rotten? And they explained how apparently a bunch of people managed to turn to the rot before they were infected. So they're now living their best lives, I guess. So yeah, fight continues and the whole thing's going on. Buddy momentarily asks about Black Orchid's power set and like, are you with the red or the green? And she explains, like, I kind of am a combo of both. It's very complicated. I'll get into it later. So fight continues on, and they manage to take out pretty much all the agents of the rot. And Constantine gets the upper hand on Felix, saying, like, whoa, hey, that attack, I mean, it was nothing. I'm just here to send a message. Animal Man, Buddy Baker, we have your daughter. Come and get her. And then he just vaporizes into dust or whatever. He's still alive. It was intentional. And Buddy's like, son of a bitch. Constantine chimes in like, that was an obvious trap. And he's like, yeah, it is, but I gotta go get my daughter anyway. And basically, he's just like, no, you... Constantine tells him you can't go out there. You will actually die. And then everybody else just starts reasoning like, okay, but here's the thing. If they keep launching that scale of attacks on us, we're going to die in here anyway. So why don't we... And you said that if he can meet up with Swamp Thing, then maybe he'll be good. So what if we just go get Swamp Thing and then go get his daughter? How about that? That sounds like a plan. So at that point, they're like, yeah, no, we'll leave. But who's going to protect all the people that are still alive here in the red? And I forget his name, but the shepherd, I think it was, he steps up and he's like, we were kind of protecting the red before any of you showed up. We can still do it now, especially if they're not going to be attacking for Buddy anymore. So, yeah, we're fine. Go on your merry adventure. And it's like, all right, fine, whatever. Constantine goes begrudgingly because why not? So then we go back to before RotWorld, and Maxine is just freaking out. She's like, I gotta go save my family. I don't want to run anymore. I can't continue on without him. And Sokka's is just basically telling her like, hey, I don't know how this is gonna go, but you are the best chance for survival right now. So are you willing to kill your own family? And she's like, no, of course not. And he's like, okay, that's fine. But then we need to keep running. We literally cannot stop until we find someone who can help us. So they just start running as they hear them approach, and they head into town. And as they get in there, they see the entire place has already been ransacked. Like the rot has moved through and is taken over. And Socks points out, like, okay, in terms of allies, we're looking for maybe like Constantine. Maybe we could find Woodrue. And at this point, Maxine hears a noise, and as she goes inside a nearby diner, there's a boy in there, and she's like, "Oh, hey, boy, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not one of the rot. My name's Maxine. I'm Avatar of the Red. I'm here to save the day. Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, my name's William Arcane." So, not good news. We cut back into RotWorld, and we see that the group is taking a break at night. They've got a couple people standing guard, and Constantine's just talking about, like, oh, I got what I would kill for some tobacco right now. If only I was over at the green, they could grow some for me. But before they're able to do anything, everyone is seemingly hit by some form of like psychic attack, except for Steel, who is of course immune to it. And everyone collapses to the ground, and they're surrounded by a bunch of gorillas. And wouldn't you know it, this is New Gorilla City, ruled by Grodd. And also, the Brain and Monsieur Mala are there, who I don't think we've met before this point, but they're also in this city. So, yay, we got Grodd. I mean, it works. It makes sense that they be here, I guess. But either way, it's a little bit of a surprise. Curious to see how they escape it. I like this one. I think that it does a great job pushing forward the story of saying, okay, we're on a quest. We are going to find Swamp Thing again. We're going to take on the Rot, and we are going to get our lives back into some level of normalcy. It doesn't say that they're going to get their family back, but there is the hint that Maxine is still alive. So that's something at least. Overall, I give this one... It's kind of just starting the story, so I think I give it a 7.5. It would be a little bit higher if it was, like a capper or something like that, but it is just kind of setting up the like reasons as to why they have to do the thing instead of just staying in the red the whole time. Overall, though, it is great. It is a fantastic arc, and I've been loving this book since the beginning, so that's no real surprise. So 7.5 for this. We'll see how the Red Kingdom continues.